Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Earlier today, we have dipped further. After we broke below the 1317 level here, that was yesterday. We have come down further as basically primarily expected. We talked about if that level gets broken, we are heading further down. The point is now that still, however, unfortunately, all the options are on the table here in this lower time frame perspective with Ethereum. Just to really keep you updated and make you aware that primary expectation for me is still that we get one more low. There are still all the possibilities on the table here. Short-term upside still possible as well. The Elliott Wave count would allow that. This dip hasn't really changed anything. As you might remember from my previous videos, I talked about the 1280 level a lot. So the 1280 or 1290 level, that needs to hold. If that holds, there is still short-term upside potential before we really come down. Now on the chart here, we have different possibilities. We're going to talk about them briefly. Primary expectation generally is still to see one more lower low. Now that could happen straight away. I think particularly when we break out of this sort of triangle pattern here to the downside. Or it could happen after short-term upside, as indicated here in this wave C of Y of 4, before we then come down. Two or different possibilities. So at the moment, I think this could very well just be unfolding as a triangle. However, that latest dip now basically makes me move this wave D to the downside, so that you have a triangle and that you say the wave 3 ended here at 1220 basically. We moved up in a wave A, came down in a B, moved up in a C. This here might be the wave D, in which we still are, and then the wave E is still to follow to the upside before we come down. We had a few times a triangle pattern on the chart here that always got extended. These triangles are extremely difficult patterns. I mentioned that before. They are amongst the most difficult Elliott Wave patterns to analyze, to trade as well, and because they can change in shape, they can move out, and they can extend. So it is really difficult. And the point though is that this is still a valid wave D at the moment. So in a triangle pattern, you get these 5 waves, A, B, C, D, E. Each of the subwaves is corrective, and you would expect to break out to the opposite side of the wave E. Now, if I now measure a target for the wave D, we can take a look at that. Wave D probably still ongoing here, and what we need to look at is the blue count. And to measure that target, I take the length of the wave B and I add it to the beginning of the wave D, and that gives me a key target of, basically we have reached that with $1,300, the 61.8% extension of the wave B. That is a wave D target. We've reached it, and let's see if we now reverse to the upside in a wave E. If we don't, I think there is important support around the 1280 level. That is also based on the fib levels. That's the 78.6% fib level, and if we drop below that level, we are also going to break out of the triangle to the downside, and then we'll probably come down straight away in line with the pink count, which just suggests we have seen here an A, B, C pattern. And in that scenario, we would say that wave 4 has already finished here. So that wave 4 got finished here, and then we have our A, B, C now in the wave 5. Basically a 3-wave move down in wave 5, because this can be counted as a diagonal pattern. So a wave 5 can have 3 waves in this scenario, no problem. And then we would be in the wave C to the downside already now. And the third possibility, which I think is getting quite likely, if we push above, let's draw the fibs. If we push, and we would have to reverse from here anyway, but if we push above the 1365 level, which is at the moment the 78.6% fib level of that move down, the retracement, if we push above 1365, I think it is quite likely and quite it's probably the best way to assume then that we're actually getting one more extensive leg up here in wave C of Y, and will only then come down, and that could take us all the way up to around 1450 before we come down. So you can see different possibilities. Sometimes it's just best to just watch, not do anything until we have a clear trend in place here. Of course, you know, this range can be traded, but it is again extremely challenging. We don't have a clearly defined trend. And important to understand, it's just that I still expect one more low. Yes, it takes a while. The market is not ready yet, apparently. Maybe we see more sideways movement here until we get the CPI data. So there is a bit of painful sideways movement, and then we should see a direction change. But I generally, after that additional low, I do expect upside. That is still what I primarily assume, because we are here, if I zoom out, still in this larger 1-2 setup for Ethereum, which is one of the better charts at the moment. And these 1-2 setups, they are among the best that you can get in Elliott Wave, where we moved up from the low in June at 880 all the way up in a wave 1. We are coming down in wave 2 at the moment. The low could be in already in that wave 2, but I think it just would look much better with one more low in, and then a reversal to the upside in wave 3. That could take us to around $3,000. That would then be a 5-wave breakout to the upside as well. I don't have any evidence at the moment that has started yet. Should anything like that change, should I get any evidence that we are already in a breakout, then I will make you aware. But at the moment, I just can't see it. There is no evidence, and therefore we are still focusing on lower prices, and we're treating at the moment any movement to the upside as purely corrective that would be followed by one more low. Yeah, and that's my update about Ethereum. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.